Hey guys, what up? Welcome to my channel. Maryam here. I am feeling so much better today than in my previous video. Thank you for asking. In today's video, I'm going to be doing another foundation review, and I have a new foundation from the drugstore, Physicians Formula Natural Defense Sheer Line of Defense Foundation Sunscreen. I was looking at the reviews of this foundation. The reviews are all over the place, from 2 stars all the way up to 5 stars. I am confused. I am conflicted. I need to get Team Truth on this review, and we need to dissect it to get the real tea. In today's video, expect just that. I'm going to be applying this foundation to my face, and of course, I'm going to be conducting a wear test as always and per usual. So make sure you stick around until the end of the video for the truth. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. And now, well, let's get into this video. Physicians Formula Natural Defense Foundation. What is the tea? How many stars are you really? Let's find out. Okay, so I did get this foundation in the mail, in PR, from Physicians Formula themselves. We're thrilled to share our new Natural Defense collection with you. I actually did receive the collection, which includes not just the foundation, but also the primer oil, also the finishing powder, sunscreen, as well as a concealer, and a super cute multicolor stick sunscreen, also with SPF. How nice. So now this collection offers protection from harmful sun rays, SPF, also from blue light, RPF, and pollution, PPF. So sounds like the perfect summer foundation, especially for those of us who live in urban areas. I'm excited to try this out. Just a little side note on my skin type, in case you guys aren't familiar, I am a very oily skin type. I'm not just like oily in the center, I'm oily all over, but my skin is a little bit closer to normal around my jawline and maybe around the perimeter of my face. I am acne prone, and because I'm oily, I have larger pores, I do have freckles, I do have some acne scars, I am in my 30s, and also I am a very warm undertone. That's it. So this foundation is around $15 to $16. When I looked at the reviews, I was perplexed. On physiciansformula.com, this foundation gets a rating of 2.3 stars. So I'm assuming that these are the die-hard Physicians Formula fans, and judging by the 2.3 rating, they don't seem to be super satisfied with this foundation. Now on Ulta Beauty, the rating is 2.8, a little bit higher. And then we go to influencer.com, which is a place where influencers or even regular people get products to review for free. The rating there is a 4.0. And then moving on to skinsafeproducts.com, it's a 91% rating, which is equivalent to like a 4.5, 4.7. So now I am just all over the place. I need to try this out for myself, and I need to figure out what the truth is. Now, obviously, I did receive these products in the mail, in PR, but I am not one bit influenced by brands or by people's opinions. I have to try things out for myself. I am Team Truth first and foremost. I have to try these things out for you. And bottom line, my opinion cannot be bought or sold. Let's get into this. Let's talk about the shade range. There are 12 shades in this range. They seem to be fairly evenly distributed. I did get the 3 shades in the middle, a light medium, a medium, and a medium tan. Light medium seems to be a bit more on the peachy side, but it is close to my skin tone, even though the undertone is different, like that. Next we have the medium, nice little pump, squeezy tube, which I love. That seems like a better match already. And let's go for the medium tan. Also very nice. So the medium tan is a little bit more of a neutral undertone, whereas the medium is warmer, and the light medium is a pinch on the cooler side, but they're not extremely warm or extremely cool. They're still kind of close to a neutral undertone. All right, so I think I found my match, but before I go on, it's time for those good old thumbnail faces. 2 stars or 5 stars? All right, removing all this from my face. Okay, so now time for the priming oil sunscreen. This one is SPF 15, which to me is totally pointless because you should be wearing a minimum of 30 SPF, which the foundation has, so why are we combining these? But just for the sake of argument, let's apply this to my face. I'm gonna apply the primer oil just to this side of the face, and then I think I'm gonna do the powder under foundation method for this side of the face. Am I doing too much? Let's see. Ooh, girl. I swear I am not a fan of oils, let alone primer oils. But this one, it's actually very, very light. It's not heavy, and it's not making me feel like a grease pan like most oils tend to. I guess also the fact that I'm applying it with a sponge is kind of helping. So it's just giving me a nice luminosity and just a nice stickiness to my face without that heavy, greasy feeling. Okay, we're gonna go for the finishing powder as a setting powder. For this side of the face, I have the shade Medium right here in front of me. It's got a little brush, a little dual compact, very cute. I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly dust. Ooh, this is very pigmented actually. Got a little bit of color, but it's not dramatic. There's definitely a fresh scent to this powder. So for those of you who are not into scents in your foundations or in your powders, keep that in mind. Honestly, that alone evened out my skin tone very nicely. I could see myself reaching for this. I just wish it wasn't SPF 20. I just wish it was a little bit higher, like at least 30, for me to actually wear it alone as a sunscreen. But the coverage is pretty impressive, and it did make my skin super matte, but not too matte that it's unbelievable. Wow, do you see that difference? Boom, boom. Very luminous, very matte. Okay, I'm gonna reach for the shade Medium. All right, let's apply that to the primer oil side first. Okay, so I immediately see a slight problem with this foundation. Over the primer oil, this foundation just applies way too streaky. Even if I use stippling motions, you could still see streaks, and it just seems like it needs to be blended out with a bit of an effort. I also think that once I start blending, this shade oxidizes to lighter than what I anticipated, especially when I swatched. So I may have to switch to the medium tan. Yeah, with the primer oil, I'm feeling like there's just like way too much slip. It's not really clinging to the face the way that I want it to. But once I've blended it out, and once I've fixed all the mistakes, it does look kind of pretty. Let me let that set, and I'm gonna apply the medium to tan as a second layer. My skin is really good right now, so I don't think I actually need a second layer of foundation, but just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna apply a second coat just to see if this is buildable and to see how the second layer applies, now that I've gotten a chance to cover up that priming oil. Still a little bit streaky, and when I say streaky, I just mean that it's hard to blend out. So when it's hard to blend out, it ends up looking a little heavy. It ends up looking cakey, especially in this area. Maybe if I blend it out with a sponge, it'll be a little bit better. It's definitely not a perfect application on this side. It could be my skin, could be my oils, or it could be my oils mixing in with the priming oils. Let's test it on the other side where I have my powder, and let's see if it's the same kind of situation. I'm going straight for the medium to tan foundation. As I said, they do oxidize light. Still kind of streaky, still just a little bit uneven on application, but I will say the finish is very, very flattering. It's flattering on both sides, matter of fact. This one with the priming oil is obviously looking a lot more dewy, whereas this one is looking a little bit more matte and just a little bit more flawless. Not the easiest foundation to apply, but it's not the worst. Application complete. Let me just observe my skin up close. Matter of fact, I am going to film my skin up close because you guys need to see this. All right, so this is my skin up close. Definitely looks good, but it's not perfect. I'm gonna quickly apply my concealer. Should we go for this Natural Defense Concealer? SPF 30, thank you. The concealer is this nice cushiony applicator that you twist to the side to open and then press to release the product. Boom, not too bad. Okay, that obviously looks way more dark than the concealer that I typically go for, but let's see if it oxidizes. Nope, not this time. Okay, so keep in mind that the medium concealer is a lot more tan than the medium foundation. So now I just gave myself some dark circles that I didn't need to give myself. Let's compare them side by side. All right, so here's the medium concealer and here is the medium foundation. What? They are like two completely different color families. How is this a medium concealer and how is this a medium foundation? I'm gonna take a bit of this foundation and try to cover up this much darker concealer. I'm also just a little bit hesitant. I don't know how I feel about applying SPF 30 this close to my eye. Not a great idea all around. They seem to be kind of like rolling into each other. What is that? Why are they coming apart? Not a fan of the concealer. I really just needed to fix my entire cheekbone area and apply a pinch more foundation there because I really did mess it up. Wow, difficult, very, very, very difficult to use. Difficult to apply, difficult to blend out. All right, I'm gonna just apply a different type of concealer because I still wanna get ready for the day and I still wanna look appropriate and approachable. All right, I'm just gonna set my under eye with my Pat McGrath. And now back to the powder. Finishing powder in SPF 20. I'm gonna use a big old brush just to set my forehead, my cheeks. Okay, I gotta say that powder is really, really, really impressive. It definitely does a really great job of making everything come together. It sets and it also perfects. I got cat hair on my face. I feel it, but I can't see it. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so yeah, so the powder for sure is my favorite product of this collection thus far. The foundation, I will say it's a little bit difficult upon application. You definitely have to kind of play around with it, maybe warm up the formula, maybe apply it with your fingers. I'm not yet sure, but once you do manage to even it out across your skin surface, it beautifies, it perfects, and it looks really nice. Granted, my skin is currently on the good side, but it did minimize my pores, and it's still giving me that very nice, healthy, dewy complexion. I also really like the shades and the undertones. I feel like they are not too extreme. The concealer, on the other hand, that is a hot mess. And moreover, I don't think the formulas of the foundation and the concealer are actually compatible. Did you see? It was rolling off my eye. I got one more product from this collection, which is the Natural Defense Multicolor Stick. I'm almost kind of afraid to use it on top of powder. I feel like the finish right now is so pretty. Don't want to ruin it, so I'm just gonna, you know, apply some on my fingers and maybe do a little bit of that. I feel like that worked. Definitely a nice, healthy little glow, but I applied it with my fingers just to be on the safe side. Maybe a little to the lips. All right, gonna quickly finish up the face. Just a little bit of waterproof mascara to the edges of those lashes. Boom, boom. Nothing too drastic, nothing too serious. A little bit of an eye bright. Quick little brow. A little bit of bronzer from the lip bar. Face done. Skin looks really, really luminous and glowy and very healthy, like I barely have anything on. This side of the face, obviously a little bit more luminous than this side of the face, but this one still has a nice dewiness to it, so they're not too different. Overall, I think this foundation has perfected my skin, especially the texture of my skin, which is so important to someone like me. My forehead looks pretty flawless from here. It looks pretty flawless in my monitor. And although this foundation was difficult to apply, I must have said it like 10 times in this video, the finish is very pretty once you actually put everything together and make it work. I'm not gonna give it a rating yet. I need to do a wear test. You know what time it is. It's time for that time warping music. I am back with that wear test, you guys. This has officially been the longest wear test I've ever conducted on my channel because I actually forgot about the wear test until just 5 minutes ago when I was about to remove all of my makeup. And then I was like, oh shit, wear test. So here I am back in the room. I think it's like after midnight right now. So I've been wearing this Physicians Formula Natural Defense Foundation Sunscreen for almost 12 hours. Now, let me zoom on in so we can observe my skin. You can definitely tell that the foundation has been eaten up or sucked up by my face, specifically in the center. You can see all of my freckles. You can see some pores. You can definitely see some of the foundation breaking up, but overall, honestly, it looks really, really, really decent. Furthermore, I got so many compliments on my foundation today, you guys. I am shook. Literally, people were actually asking me what I was wearing on my face. I know my skin is really good right now. It's on like the good side of my skin days, but this tells me that this foundation, in fact, looks really pretty on the skin surface. So this side, the one that I applied the primer oil, is just a pinch dewier than this side where I applied the finishing powder underneath the foundation. And this side overall just looks a little bit more matte and a little bit more flawless. But honestly, pretty impressed with the results, you guys. I think this is a really good summertime foundation. Now going back to application, yes, indeed, it was very problematic on application. I didn't like how streaky it was. I didn't like how cakey it applied. I had to use several tools, a brush, and then also a sponge to just blend it out and make it work for me. I hated the concealer. I never used the word hate, but I thought this concealer, plus the discrepancy between the colors, it was just too much for me. I wasn't loving it, so I probably will never reach for this again. The The finishing powder I thought was very good, and the primer oil, it's just not my thing. I'm someone who's very oily, and this is an unusual wear test for me. I am never this flawless looking at the end of the day. Because of all of these factors, I am once again just a little bit perplexed. Kind of like the reviews. Do I give it a 3-star or a 4-star? Where do I fit in? I guess I'm gonna have to rate it this way. Application to me was a 5 out of 10. It was very, very average, streaky, kind of difficult to blend out, but once you made it work, it looked nice. Formulation wise or texture wise, I thought that it was a really decent product, a high 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. And wear test, which is probably the most important out of all of them, flying colors, you guys, it passed. I would say that this is a foundation that I will definitely be reaching for more often. Because it has SPF 30, this is something that I would wear on the daily if I'm stepping outside. I think it looks pretty. I think it makes my skin look better. It's flattering. I really like the undertones, and overall, I think this is a hit for Physicians Formula. All right, and that is my video. I am going to zoom on out at this point. Definitely check out some of my other videos. It's super late. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.